Okay, here is a short video on properties of mathematics. This should help you on your take-home test with question number 4, finding out the different properties. Okay, so the first property we're going to talk about is going to be the commutative property. And the commutative property is for addition or multiplication. Okay, so the commutative property of addition and multiplication is when you change the order of the terms, it doesn't matter. It will not affect the sum or the product. Okay, that would be your answer to addition or multiplication. Okay, so if you have 36 plus 10, your answer is the same as 10 plus 36. So this here would be an example of the commutative property of addition. 15 times 30 equals 30 times 15. That would be an example of the commutative property of multiplication. When you do those problems, you get the same answer. 36 plus 10 is 46. 10 plus 36 is 46. 15 times 30 is 450. 30 times 15 is 450. It doesn't matter which way you multiply, you'll still have the same answer. Okay, and you have this written as a numerical expression and as an algebraic expression. A plus B is the same thing as B plus A. A times B is the same thing as B times A. Okay, then you have the associative property of addition and multiplication. Okay, again, it applies to both addition and multiplication. This is very similar to the commutative property, but when you're talking about the associative property, we have grouping. We're grouping things. You have more than two terms and you are grouping terms. Changing the grouping of the terms does not change the sum or does not change the product. Okay, so for your numerical example, you have 36 plus 10 plus 5. Okay, 36 plus 10 first plus 5 is the same thing as if you did 10 plus 5 plus 36. Notice that's grouped. So you would do the 36 plus 10, which is 46, plus 5 is 51. Okay, over here you would do 10 plus 5, which is 15, plus 36, which is the same answer. Okay, same thing down with the multiplication. 15 times 30 is 450, times 2 would give you 900. Okay, if you did 30 times 2, you would get 60, and then 60 times 15 is 900. So either way that you do these problems, you will still have the same answer. Okay, these two properties come in handy. Well, the commutative property, you just need to know that no matter which way you add or which way you multiply, you'll still get the same answer. And actually, on my son's homework tonight, in 3rd grade, you learned about the commutative property of addition. The associative property comes in handy when you are doing adding and multiplication. Sometimes it's easier to add or multiply numbers differently. So if you know that you can do it, you may want to change around the order to make it easier so you could add or multiply numbers mentally in your head easier. Okay, and the next property, the additive identity property, is basically when you add 0 to any number, the sum is still that number, which you already know that. You probably just didn't know this fancy name, additive identity property. Any number plus 0 is that number. 25 plus 0 equals 25. A plus 0 equals A. 954 plus 0 is 954. That's the additive identity property. Okay, that would be that one. The multiplicative identity property is any number times 1 is again that number. When any number is multiplied by 1, the product is the number. 8 times 1 equals 8. A times 1 equals A. 692 times 1 equals 692. That would be the multiplicative identity property. And the last one is the multiplicative property of 0. Any number multiplied by 0, the product is 0. And you have probably known this since you were in second or even first grade. 8 times 0, oops. Yeah, okay, 8 times 0 equals 0, a times 0 equals 0, and any number times 0 equals 0. 422 times 0 equals 0. Okay, those are your properties. Hopefully that helped you. One of the reasons why you would know these properties again is to solve problems mentally. If you remember on the SGO that you took today, there was a question where I had a whole bunch of fractions that you were multiplying and there was a 0 in the middle. Okay, you didn't have to multiply those fractions. If you looked at the whole problem and saw the 0, you would see that the answer was 0. But that's okay. That didn't count today. So hopefully this helped you out, and if you have any questions, let me know tomorrow. Have a great night.